Getting your first agency client in 30 days sounds impossible, especially when you're starting from zero. But I've seen dozens of people do exactly that, going after local businesses with a simple outreach system. So in this video, I'm going to break down the full roadmap, step by step, from choosing your niche to building your prospect list to doing the outreach to actually closing the deal. And by the way, some of what I'm about to share with you is stuff that I typically only share inside of my paid program. So consider this a sneak peek into what my students are paying thousands of dollars for. Now, before we get into the tactical stuff, I need you to understand something that most people completely miss when they're trying to start an agency. The biggest reason people fail in this business is not because they don't know how to build AI agents or run Facebook ads. The biggest reason people fail is because they cannot get in front of business owners consistently. They sit at home watching YouTube videos, they build out all of these fancy systems, spend 2 weeks on building their website, and then they wonder why they don't have any customers. The reality is that outreach is the bloodline of your business. And if you can master outreach, you can make money in literally any service-based business model. You just need to be willing to reach out to business owners and have conversations with them about how you can help them grow their business. And that's it. So let's start with choosing your niche, because if you mess this up, everything else becomes 10 times harder. When you're choosing your niche for your AI lead generation agency, you need to make sure that the businesses you're going after are charging enough money per customer that they can actually afford to pay you and still make a profit. If you go after coffee shops, how much are they charging per customer? Maybe 20 bucks, 25 bucks. And if you're running ads for a coffee shop and you're charging them 1,500 bucks a month plus ad spend, the math just doesn't work, because they would need to acquire so many new customers just to break even on what they're actually paying you. But if you go after a business like a roofing company, a landscaping company, a fencing company, a bathroom remodeling contractor, now you're talking about businesses where a single job is worth $5,000, $10,000, sometimes even $50,000 or more. If you help a roofing company get one extra job per month from your advertising, they're making way more than what they're paying you, and that becomes an easy sale. The other thing you need to think about when you're choosing a niche is whether or not you can actually get the decision maker on the phone. This is super important. If every time you call a business and you're talking to the secretary or a receptionist or some employee who has no authority to make actual decisions, you're going to waste a ton of time. But with local service businesses like landscape, roofing, fencing, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, most of the time when you call their business line, you're going to be talking directly to the owner. And that's what you want, because the owner is the person who could say yes to your offer and swipe their credit card. I chose landscaping because I actually used to own a landscaping company. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week. I remember being out there in the dark doing mulch. My back would be crazy hurting and wondering where I was going to get my next landscaping job from. So when I talk to landscaping business owners now, I understand their problems on a very deep level because I actually lived it. Now, you don't have to choose landscaping. That was just my choice. There are hundreds of niches that actually work. And just to name a few, we have roofing, fencing, pool installation, bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, painting, concrete, junk removal, pressure washing, garage doors. The key is to pick one and stick with it, because when you focus on one niche, your results get better and better over time, since you're running the same campaigns, using the same scripts, and solving the same problem over and over again. Now, once you've chosen your niche, the next step is building your prospect list or your dream list. And there are probably 100 different ways that you can actually do this. You can manually search on Google Maps and copy and paste numbers into a spreadsheet. You can buy leads from some sketchy vendor, or you can pay for an expensive data subscription. Now, after testing dozens of different methods and spending way more money than I needed to, I found 3 tools that actually work and don't cost a fortune. Now, the first one is D7 Lead Finder, where you can type in a keyword like landscaping company and then select a city or a list of cities, and it will pull a massive list of businesses with their phone numbers and email addresses. You can literally get in front of thousands of leads in just a few minutes with the name of the business, the phone number, email address, website, and all the information you need to reach out to them. The second tool is called Outscraper, which does something similar, but it pulls data from Google Maps. So you can scrape all of the landscaping companies in Denver, or all of the roofing companies in Phoenix, or whatever niche and location you are targeting. The third tool is Apollo, which you might be familiar with. This one is more of a B2B sales intelligence platform with a massive database of business owners and decision makers, where you can filter by the actual industry, location size, company size, job title, all kinds of criteria to build a hyper-targeted list of prospects. Now, and before you go and start blasting out messages to every number on your list, there's a step that most people skip that will save you a ton of headaches and potentially keep you out of legal trouble. And that is called cleaning your list, because when you scrape a list of phone numbers, not all of those numbers are going to be valid. Some are actually going to be landlines, which you can't text. Some of them are going to be on the do not call list, which means you can actually get fined if you call them. And some of them are just going to be disconnected or wrong numbers. So the two tools I use for this are My Free DNC, which checks your numbers against the National Do Not Call Registry and removes any numbers that are on that list. And the second one is Phone Validator, which tells you whether a phone number is a cell phone or a landline and whether it's still active. You're going to want to run your list through both of these. You remove all of the bad numbers, and now you have a clean list of prospects that you can actually reach out to without worrying about wasting time or getting hit with any compliance issues. Now let's get into the actual outreach, because this is where the magic happens. This is how you get business owners on the phone and book appointments so you can pitch them your AI lead gen services. So I'm going to share 3 different methods that work really well right now. The first method is cold calling. If you rolled your eyes and want to skip further in the video, let me stop you right there, because I know a lot of people are scared of picking up the phone and calling strangers, but the business owners you're calling are not strangers to the problem that you're solving. They're struggling to get customers. They're spending money on marketing that does not work. They're watching their competitors grow while they're stuck. So when you think about it that way, it actually starts to become less discouraging, because if you call them and you have a real solution to their problem, most of them are going to at least hear you out. The way cold calling works is you take your clean list, you import it to your CRM, and then you use what's called a power dialer to go through the list and call one number after another. So when somebody picks up, you read from your script, and I cannot stress this enough, you have to have a script, because the cold call is not where you're trying to close the deal. The cold call is just to qualify the prospect and then book them for a second call. And that's where you actually show them your presentation and pitch your services. So on the cold call, you're basically asking them how they're currently getting customers. You're finding out if they've tried Facebook ads before, and you're learning about their pain points. Then you're going to want to transition to booking them for a longer call where you can actually really dive into the solution for that local business. The second method is SMS outreach, which is huge right now because business owners are typically on their phones all day and they actually read their text messages. So the way this works is you take your clean list, get to import them into a sub account in a platform like GoHighLevel, and you set up what's called a reactivation automation. And this sends out text messages to your list automatically and book appointments. Now, there is a hack that I want to share with you. If you don't want to set up your own sub account, you can actually rent a sub account from someone who has already configured this, and they have the phone numbers and everything set up ready to go. There's actually a guy who rents out sub accounts for like $200 a month, and you can send out up to 90,000 text messages, which is insane volume for a very low cost. So if you're just starting out and you don't want to deal with a ton of technical setup, the cold call SMS is a very solid option. Now, the third method is Facebook ad library. And this is probably my favorite because it allows you to find business owners who are already spending money on advertising, but doing it wrong. So what you're going to want to do is actually just go to the Facebook ad library, which is a public database where you can literally see every single ad that's currently running on Facebook and Instagram. So what you're going to want to do is type in your niche, like landscaping or roofing or whatever you're targeting, and then you're going to want to filter it by the location. Now, you're going to see thousands of businesses that are running ads, and what you're looking for is essentially bad ads where they're just showing a picture and telling people to call them, the creative is terrible, or they're clearly not getting good results. These are your perfect prospects because they're already spending money on advertising. They're literally going to tell you that they have a budget, but they're not getting a good ROI. So when you find a business with bad ads, you reach out to them just by sending them a message on Facebook, calling their business directly, or you can even email them. Your angle is going to be basically that you saw their ad on Facebook, you work with businesses like theirs, you notice some things that could be improved, and you'd love to show them how your AI meta strategy could help them get better results. And the reason this works so well is because you're not cold reaching out to someone who has no awareness of paid advertising. You're reaching out to somebody who is actively investing in advertising and probably frustrated that it's not working. So they're already looking for a solution, and you're the one showing up at the perfect time to offer one. Now, here's the thing about outreach that you need to understand. Volume will negate luck, meaning you can't send out 5 text messages or make 10 phone calls and then complain that you're not getting clients. You need to be doing this consistently every single day at a high enough volume that the math works in your favor. My recommendation is to reach out to at least 15 to 20 new prospects every single day. Now, if you're doing cold calls, that might take you an hour. If you're doing SMS or the Facebook ad library method, it might take you less. But the point of all of this is that you need to be consistent. So if you reach out to 20 people a day for 30 days, that's 600 prospects. So even if you only have a 5% booking rate, that's 30 sales conversations in a month. And if you close even 20% of those, you've got 6 new clients paying you around $3,000 a month. That's $18,000 a month in recurring revenue from 1 month of consistent outreach. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen to you or that this is guaranteed, but if you follow everything that I've laid down in this video and do that consistently, there's no reason why you can't get there in as little as 30 days. Now, the last piece that ties all of this together is the sales process itself. Once you get somebody on the call, you need to know how to close them. And this is where having a sales framework becomes critical, because you cannot just wing it and cross your fingers. You need to have a proven framework that walks the prospect through understanding their problem, seeing your solution, and then saying yes to your offer. So the first call is a discovery call where we qualify the prospect and learn about their situation. Then the second call is where we show them a presentation, we walk them through our strategy, and then we present them with our pricing. Now, I'm not going to go super deep into the sales process in this video because that's a whole other topic. But if you want me to make a video breaking down exactly how we run our discovery calls and sales presentations, just leave a comment below and I'll make it as soon as possible. But for now, let me recap this entire roadmap. So step 1, you just have to choose a niche where the businesses are charging at least $750 or more per job and where you can get the decision maker on the phone. Step 2 is you're going to build out your prospecting list using tools like D7 Lead Finder, Outscraper, or Apollo. Step 3, you need to clean that list, remove anybody from the DNC and landlines. Step 4, do your outreach. You can cold call, SMS, and also the Facebook ad library method. Step 5, close deals using a 2-call sales process with a proven sales framework. If you follow this system consistently for 30 days, there's no reason you can't land your first client. Now, if you want to shortcut this entire process and get access to the exact scripts, the exact automations, the exact funnels, and direct mentorship from me and my team, that's what we do at Start, Scale, Automate. We help people get to $10,000 a month in 90 days with their AI lead generation agency by giving you the exact system that I use to scale to over $100,000 a month in just 5 months. And you can just copy and paste it into your own agency. So if you're interested in learning more about how we can actually help you, I'll drop a link in the description where you can apply and see if we'd be a good fit. If you got any value from this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.